This is unit number 3, instruments in international markets. Under this unit, we are going to study about meaning, function of international financial markets, benefits of international financial markets, classification of international markets, globalization of capital markets and its implication, and about international portfolio management and objective of international portfolio management. Let's start with the meaning of international financial market. The international financial market is the worldwide marketplace in which buyers and sellers trade financial assets such as stocks, bonds, currencies, commodities, and derivatives across national borders. So, the international market is the place where buying and selling of financial assets takes place internationally. International markets consist of mainly international banking service and international money markets. The banking services includes trade financing, hedging, foreign investments, etc. And international money markets includes euro currency markets, euro credits, etc. So this was the brief explanation on international financial market. Let's move on to the next slide. The next topic is nature of international financial markets. The first nature of international financial market is it undertakes the transferring of purchasing power, and international markets facilitates the transfer of funds from lenders and investors to the borrowers. Here, lenders and investors are those who expects yield from the future benefits, and borrowers are those who desires to acquire assets. Then the next nature of international financial market is it involves financial transactions. When funds flow between the parties who are residing in the different countries, then the importance of international financial market exists. Then the third nature of international financial market is utilization of reservoirs. International financial centers are source for saving and transferring those saving to the unit where the money is efficiently used to yield profit. Then let's see the next topic, functions of international financial market. The first one is price determination. The price of the financial instruments which are traded between buyer and the seller in the financial markets are determined through the demand and supply of that financial instrument. Here, financial market gives platform where prices are set for both newly issued and existing financial instrument. Then the second function is funds mobilization. Financial market helps to mobilize the funds from investors to the person who are in need of those funds through issuing financial instruments in the financial market. Then the third function is liquidity. The liquidity function of the financial market provides an opportunity to the investors to sell their securities readily and convert them into cash. In case of no liquidity function of the financial market, then the investors are forced to hold securities until the time of maturity or until the time of liquidation of the uh, company. So the next function is risk sharing. With the help of financial market, the risk is transferred from the person who undertakes the investment for those person who provide the funds for making those investments. So the risk transfers between investors and lenders with the help of financial market. Then the fifth function is easy access. The financial market is a platform where both buyer and seller meets easily. Okay, so where a buyer and seller meets easily, like the industries requires the investors for raising funds, and investors requires industries for investing their money to earn return. So financial market facilitates to meet financial needs of both the parties. Then the next function is reduction in transaction cost. Financial market provides information to the traders on free of cost. This helps to reduce the cost of transaction. Then the last function is capital formation. Financial market gives the channel through which through which the capital from other countries flow into the country where the capital is most required. So this is where the capital formation occurs. So these are the functions of international financial markets. The next topic is classification of international financial market. So financial market broadly divided into capital market and money market. Let's say there are two types of investors and borrowers. The investors and borrowers who wants to invest or borrow finance for maximum period of 1 year, they deal in the money market. The investor and borrowers who wants to invest and borrow finance more than 1 year, they deal in the capital market. So capital market is also called long term market. Shares, bonds, debentures are the financial instruments which are traded in the capital market. So capital market is referred to as a place where savings and investments are done between capital supplier and those who are in need of capital. It is therefore a place where various entities trade different financial instruments. So here financial instruments are traded between buyer and seller for a long period of time. Again, the capital market is divided into two markets. The one is primary market. The second one is secondary market. Under primary market, or this market deals with new securities. It means this is the place where first time trading of fresh securities takes place. Let's say a company called ABC Limited wants to raise funds through issuing shares. Those shares are issued in the primary market first. The participants in the primary markets are big financial organization, underwriters, commercial banks, etc. And in under secondary market, the existing securities are traded. So the securities are bought and sold by the investors in the secondary markets. Let's move on to the next topic, functions of capital market. The first function is it acts in linking investors and savers. So capital market facilitates the movement of capital or money from the person who wants to invest and earn profit to the person who require capital for his business. Then the second function is facilitates the movement of capital to be used more profitable and productively to boost the national income. mobilizing ideal savings from the economy and puts them in the proper investments is an important function of capital market. Then the next function is it boosts economic growth through movement of capital savings. Through movement of capital, the savings generates, and these savings are used to various segments like agriculture, industries and development, etc. These helps to boost economic growth. Then the next function is mobilization of savings to finance long-term investment. Capital market provides an investment avenue for the people who wish to invest resources for long period of time. Then the next one is facilitates trading of securities. So it facilitates trading securities for long term. Then the next one is minimization of transaction and information cost. It provides information to the traders which helps them to take investment related decisions. So this minimizes the transaction cost and information cost. Then the next one is encourages a massive range of ownership of productive asset. So capital market encourages the savers to benefits from economic growth and wealth distribution and provides avenues for investment opportunities. Then the next one is quick valuation of financial instruments. So here capital market provide quick valuation of all type of financial instruments. Then the next function is through derivative trading. It offers insurance against market or price threats. So here under capital market, derivatives are traded. So derivatives are a financial instruments which are traded in the capital market. The trading of derivatives mitigates the risk which arise from price fluctuation or due to some market condition. Then the next one is facilitates transaction settlement. Here transaction settlement means the process of transferring securities into the account of a buyer and the cash into seller's accounts. So this process is facilitated by the capital market. Then the next one is improvement in the effectiveness of capital allocation. So here it can have regulation over the resources. So it can direct funds in the qualitative manner. So it allocates the fund where it is needed most. Then the last one is continuous availability of funds. The capital market is a liquid market. So funds are available on continuous basis. Both buyer and seller can easily buy and sell securities as they are whenever there is a need of capital. So there is a continuous available of funds in the capital market. So capital market definitely plays a constructive role in the overall development of the economy. So let's move on to the next slide. The next topic is money market. The next classification of financial market. The money market refers to trading in very short-term debt investment at the wholesale level. It involves large volume trades between institution and traders. At the retail level, it includes money market mutual funds bought by individual investors and money market accounts opened by the bank customer. So here, under money market, short-term debts instruments are traded. Money market consists of commercial paper and certificates of deposit, etc. So money market is controlled by the RBI. So these are the functions of money market. The first function is it provides funds. Money market provide small tenure loans to meet working capital requirement for the public and private institution at lower rate of interest. This helps to growth in business through financing by money market. Then the next one is use of surplus funds. A money market provide opportunity to investors to invest their short-term surplus fund in most profitable investment. Then the next function is it helps government. A money market provide short-term liquidity to government which contributes the economic stability in the country. Then the next one is it helps monetary policy. So the central bank of the country is responsible for regulating monetary policy of that country. To ensure sound financial system, money market helps central bank to adopt an appropriated banking policy like short-term interest rates are an indicators of monetary policy where short-term interest rates are served by the money market. The next topic for discussion is globalization. Let's understand the meaning of globalization. Globalization is a process of interaction and integration among the people, companies and governments of different nations. A process driven by international trade and investment and aided by information technology. This process has effect on the environment, on culture, on political system, on economic development and prosperity, and on human physical well-being in societies around the world. So here globalization is a process through which goods, services, information, ideas spread throughout the world. Globalization affects on individual level, community level and institutional level. Let's take an example of McDonald's, a multinational fast food corporation which conducts its operation in more than 120 countries with more than 36,000 restaurants. So through globalization, their presence in different countries influence on social and economic development in the country that host those multinational corporations. Here, McDonald's. So this is an example of globalization. Let's see the next slide. Stages of globalization. There are 5 stages of globalization. So industries and companies tend to globalize in phases. At each stage, there are different opportunities for creating value. In first 3 stages, value comes from basic improvements to typical business practice. In the last 2 stages, it comes from true process, innovation and market expansion. The stages are not necessarily sequential. So the first stage where the company wants their business to spread internationally requires more sources of money and time on the part of exporter. So under first stage, strong foundations are built to enter or to expand the business activities into international market. Then the second stage, move production abroad. Usually company plans to move their entire production unit to abroad to take cost differential advantages. For example, Apple planned and started manufacturing iPhone in India that reduces the cost of the Apple products. The next stage is disaggregate the value chain. The firm start disaggregate the production process and focus each activity in most advantageous location. So individual component of single product might be manufactured in different location and assembled into final product somewhere else. So this decreases the cost. Then the fourth stage is re-engineer the value chain. To increase further their cost saving, the company re-engineer the product which suits the local market. Then the fifth stage is where it focuses on market expansion. So the value generated in the fifth stages is often greater than the value of cost saving in other stages. So these are the five stages of globalization. Globalization and implication of capital markets. So these are the implications of globalization of capital market. The first one is expand markets. Here, firms can access funds from outside of their home countries for their business growth. Effect of globalization is that it expands the market. Then the next one is cheaper resource. Through globalization, cheaper resource can be accessible. This contributes the saving in cost and there will be a larger profit for the firm. Then the third one is international development. Globalization helps developing countries to deal with rest of the world and increases their economic growth by solving the poverty problem in their country. So the developed countries are able to invest in the developing nation, creating job opportunities for the poor people. Competition. Globalization leads to competition. Competition can be related to price, product, quality, customer care services, etc. So, when company produce with less cost, it sells cheaper and company can able to increase its market share. Then the next one is exchange of technology. Globalization enhance technology transfer and technological improvement. New technologies used by the firm to explore the new business opportunities. So this is the effect of globalization on exchange of technology. Then the next one is information transfer. Information can be easily transferred from one country to another country. Here company can adopt global changes with the use of knowledge and information. So the next one is culture. Globalization connects the culture of the people from different countries. So it creates more deeper connection between different group. And then the next one is more efficient market. Here efficient market means where buyers are ready to purchase or willing to pay for goods and services and sellers are willing to sell for goods and services. Willing to sell goods and or services. So here under globalization market works more efficiently. Then the last one is transportation. The impact of globalization is that the travel cost reduced significantly. So this allows manufacturers to export product all over the world. Advantage of globalization. So the first advantage is raise in investment. Globalization connects the business globally. More investors can access new investment opportunities and study new markets to understand profitable opportunities. Then the next one is employment opportunities. Globalization promotes jobs and it gives opportunities to work worldwide. Then the next one is transfer of technology. Due to globalization, it enhances the transfer of technology, which helps the business to explore the new business opportunities in the market. Then the fourth one is industrial growth. There are some benefits of globalization which also includes foreign direct investments. The increase in foreign direct investments helps restructuring the industries and growth of global companies. Then the next one is economic growth. Globalization increases the income in developing countries. That helps the economic growth of that countries by solving poverty in developing countries and creates job opportunities for the poor people. Then the next one is efficient utilization of resources. Efficient utilization of resources means getting things done with minimum cost and no wastage of resources. So under globalization, or we can say globalization benefits efficient utilization of resources. Then the next one is inflow of foreign exchange. Globalization helps to increase openness of an economy to the international trade by inflow of foreign exchange through FDI, movement of laborers or people to the other country or from other country. Movement of people can be from other country also. So the next one is a favorable balance of payment. Globalization helps to keep always favorable balance of payment. Then the next one is overall growth. So the globalization promotes overall growth. So these are the advantages of globalization.